podcast, as always, the NCDG himself, Robert Reynolds. Nice little background we got here as the 6033 DGD says, let's go, Juan Fan Club, Bones Brigade, Juan 316. Yeah, no doubt. There's a lot to do. We're going to talk a lot, and we're going to get it done quickly and fast. We'll be about 12:15 when we have our guy, Jake Crain, on to talk Tennessee football. But first, let's talk some Georgia football in the meantime. Obviously, the show is brought to you by our friends over at Alumni Hall. Check them out in store, 10 minutes from campus in Athens. Or you can go online and check them out at www.alumnihall.com. Licensed Nike, Columbia, Cutter and Buck, you name it, they've got it. All Georgia apparel, accessories, you name it. Give them a shout out, Alumni Hall. Go check them out. And absolutely. And also, with it being August 1st, that's a significant day today. Football starts this month. There is college football this month. Keep that in mind, folks. Keep it in mind. Just going to leave it there. I think we're all excited for college football, whether it be Georgia football, which obviously just 33 days away from this right here. Black out the bins, my guy. Georgia versus Oregon, starting off the season, obviously 3:30 p.m., September 3rd. I'm excited. I'm sure everyone else here is excited. Make sure, also keep in mind, Spike Squad. Make sure to listen to what they're saying and black out the bins. Do that for us, please. Just saying. Yes, that back jump is elite. Absolutely. Just saying. But in the meantime, right, we'll let the brigade slowly come in here. But also, listen, you're starting to see a lot of official offer edits, if you will, come out. Obviously, if you're not familiar with that, that is that's the first day that the school can actually honor the official offer. So if you're on Twitter, you're on Instagram or whatever, and you see all these kids posting about offers and things like that, well, basically they're able to officially accept the offer. So which is what you're seeing here. So moving on there. So we've got the 633 DG, and we've got a few others. We're waiting to see when the brigade will come in. Listen, go ahead and make sure, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us. Ring the bell. Gets notified when we go live as well. Juan will not be here, so the Make Juan Laugh Again campaign will have to be postponed until Friday, until next time. Just going to leave that there. Well, look at that. John says that you like to subscribe. Fair enough. Let's do this. There we go. We'll switch this over. There we go. Look at that. Until we get our guest on. So obviously we're talking Georgia football right now. What are y'all's thoughts with fall camp coming up this week as well? What are some takeaways in the meantime? We'll talk a little bit about this more Friday. Definitely interested to see what that defense is going to look like with the linebackers and honestly the second corner spot, period. I feel like that's just the way it's got to be for them. I just think that there's some questions that I need to see answered, and I think we will in due time. I don't think it's that much of an issue at all. Excuse me. So the brigade, feel free to drop comments, questions in the meantime until we get our friend Jake on. Obviously, then we're going to talk some Tennessee football. So if you're not familiar, the topic of the show for today is our Enemy Intel Tennessee show. Tennessee, right? That's why we're here. Listen, get some insight from Tennessee, all these things like that. Obviously, if if you've been with us the last couple of times, you saw giving season predictions, names to know, things like that. So that is what we're seeing here. I think it's interesting stuff here. Joel is on point. Look at that. Look at that. But no, so obviously, like I said, give some questions and whatnot to, if you got any questions, we'll take. In the meantime, though, obviously, I'm excited for fall camp, and I think right, it's something where it's not necessarily talking season much more, right? I'm sick and tired of talking season, which kind of leads me into this, right? It's a Reynolds rant. We'll start off with a Reynolds rant. I'm just sick and tired of talking season because you get the same hypothetical bullshit every single day that you hear from every team. You got Texas is back. You got Miami feeling good about Mario Cristobal, right? A&M feeling good, all this shit, right? Enough of it. Enough talk. I'm ready for action. Right? I'm ready for even week 0 at this point. Just give me some football, right? Fall camp, just the start of this. Simple as that. It's that simple. But we'll know week 3, week 4, maybe even. You'll see the real teams are going to be fine, and then outside of that, it just is what it is. And it just is what it is. But yeah, so I'll end that rant right there. I'm sick and tired of talking hypotheticals of last year, right? Georgia did win the national title, and that's awesome. But at the same time, I'm ready for a new season. So I watched G-Day yesterday again, and it got me itching. So 6033 asks, what is your prediction on UGA Tennessee? Break it down a little bit more here, but I know Georgia wins. I don't want to go too deep because that's why we got our guests on, kind of give our own predictions. I'll save the score prediction for later, but I will say that I have Georgia winning. Simple as that. Keep in mind they do come to Sanford this year, so I think that'll play a part. Honestly, I really do. I really think that'll play a part. But with that being said, also, I think Tennessee is going to be one of Georgia's direct games, or a real problem games. It could be. We'll get more about this as these series goes on. But Tennessee isn't even the game that I'm sweating over the most, and it's not working either. So I'm just telling you. So I'm forewarning you to listen, because as you heard, I'm going to make the announcement on that episode. But I'm not going to do it today because it's not Tennessee. Not Tennessee. But yeah, 12-0 season. That's what it's called. I mean, listen, you're not far off. I think that's the case. I think you see probably a loss to Bama in the SEC championship game. If you win the SEC championship game, then you're going to lose in the playoffs. But I mean, I just have us making the playoffs, and that's, for me, that's a great season. To, coming off of a national title, like just proving this point, man. Again, this is where the hypothetical comes in. All this talk. You hear a lot of people talking about, Georgia's at 2019 LSU. Let's show them that we're not. Right? Just show them what we're not. So I mean, and you're right. I think a hiccup is always possible, right? You're not wrong. I don't see it either. I mean, I'll talk more about it. We'll definitely bring this back up. I don't want to spoil anything ahead of time, but definitely think that there is a hiccup game potentially. But at the same time, it's one of those things where we'll see exactly what happens. But no, I got us going 12-0. But like I said, you never know, right? 2019 South Carolina, 2018 LSU just come to mind, right? It can happen. So don't want to sit there and get too optimistic and overlook things, at least from a fan's perspective, right? While we do enemy intel, just want to leave it there. But anyways, I think we'll start wrapping up into Tennessee here. So one thing about Tennessee is And we're going to talk more about this with Jake in just a minute. I'm very interested to see how they handle defensively. And the reason why I say defensively is because you're looking at second year under Heupel, but you're rebuilding that depth that you lost to the portal. That's important. Right? You think of some names that they lost. Wanye Morris, Henry Toto, right, going to Bama. It's just a couple. Right? So they got absolutely gutted from the portal last season. How do they, and they still did what they did this past season. So year two, I expect it to be a little bit more step up, perhaps, but we'll have to see. So in that moment, we'll see how that goes. But for now, I think there's a lot of room for optimism, I guess. And Knoxville makes sense, but let's be honest, I still think there's no chance that if they beat us, especially in Sanford. But never say never. Never say never. Period. Absolutely. Let's see here. I'm just kind of going through, skimming through comments, things like that. What did y'all think about the cookout this weekend? If you're listening, we'll talk about the cookout real fast. Huge weekend in recruiting. Right? Huge for Georgia. That little break in the dead period, right? That's huge. So obviously Georgia takes advantage of it. You got the slip and slide, things like that, right? And everybody probably saw the pictures of the LBU, right? The next class at LBU, right? That's Trey Bowles, CJ Allen, and Raylan Wilson, right? And then you even got pictures of Jamal in there too. That defense is looking stout. I'm just gonna leave it there. That defense is looking stout for the future. There's no question about it. You got some dogs in the front, you got dogs in the back. Right? It's crazy. Do I have any hot takes from Jamal on the cookout this weekend? I don't know if you can necessarily say hot, but he had a damn good time. The slip inside was always fun. Shout out to Coach Rice, by the way, too. Saw that ball that's hit his. It's just, I saw that, I had to give him shit. Form was, you could do better, Coach. You could do better on that form and that slip inside. I saw that. But no, other than that, man, I think, Jamal went down there, had a good time, right? Just getting there, maybe even trying to recruit some folks, right? I think that's the case. I think now that he's in the class, I think you've seen he's very much an advocate for the program, right? Going to help out with recruiting, things like that, right? It wouldn't be surprised to me if he's recruiting guys like Jordan Hall, Samuel Pember, maybe even, right? We'll see what happens. Right, I think you're going to. He's got his targets, and he's trying to help get in the class, and it might pay off. But yeah, no other really hot takes or nothing like that. It's just interesting tidbits, if you will. But yeah, no, the slip and slide always is one of those things where everybody just has fun with it. So you can't be mad about it. But yeah, no, the slip and slide is always fun because I know even Coach Uzo was. Let me see. Yeah, Coach Uzo went live, I think, on Instagram, I think. So at that point, it was one of those things where it was just fun. Right? Let's see. So since he's not here today, I want to get everybody in the chat to drop #1. Let's do this. Random talk here. Let's do that. Right? Let's do that. He might even be watching. We don't even know, right? He might be watching. We just don't know. But keep in mind, folks, if you're not familiar and you're listening, the brigade definitely has your situation where you want to make one laugh again. But with that being said, we are going to welcome on Jake Crain. Jake Crain. Oh, yeah, can't hear you, my man. Cannot hear you. You might have some technical issues with Bluetooth. Possibly. Not sure. Nope. Not just yet. As 6033 DGB says, welcome, Jake. Let me see. Definitely gets. It's like I feel like this is Billy Madison, where I can see your lips moving, but I can't hear you. Definitely. Let me do this real fast. Hold on one second, guys. We're gonna do this right here. We're gonna do a quick break here, and we're gonna get this situated. All right, folks, stay tuned. We're going to wrap this up, and we're going to come back live. We're going to get this situated. We're going to work on the technical difficulties. Let's see if we can hear you one more time, Jake. Can we hear you? I hear audio. Hold on. Stand fast. Jake, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Hey, you can hear me?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Hold on.
Welcome back, man. Welcome back as we go through our technical difficulties.
Hey.
I swear to God, Napier must be trying to hack in our show.
Now I can't hear you.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this thing up real fast. We're going to come back in just a minute. We're going to do some troubleshooting and come back live. Stay tuned.